Good morning, everybody. Welcome to MarketStream.live. It is May 25th. My name is Joseph Kizik with the Kizik Group Securities offered by MoneyBlock. The markets have been in a very tight and grindy range, but the Asian markets, they had a little volatility overnight. Want to actually start with the Shanghai Composite because the Shanghai Composite last night opened up the session and was hitting its lows. As a matter of fact, it got as low as being down 1.3%. On news that Moody's did a credit downgrade from A1 to AA3. Now, really, what does that mean for all of us? The obvious. If we've been talking about this for a long time. As a matter of fact, we've been talking about the fact that the Chinese government has been concerned about the leverage in the markets and the skyrocketing property prices, as well as the fact that people are quite leveraged on the homes that they've purchased. We've seen that through the actions of the PBOC and their concerns, and they've been getting in front of this, but the markets reacted all the way back in the beginning of April, or mid-April. You can see here, we see basically right around April 17th, April 15th, 14th, we saw that the market started to trickle back, and then it broke its 20 and 50-day moving average, and it's been going to the downside since then. Now, of course, Moody's puts out these concerns a month and a half later, or a month later, and they're also concerned about growth, which we also were putting into light as well with the mixed data that continues to come out from China. With that being said, the PBOC came back vigorously defending the strength of their economy and their growth projections, and the market bounced back and finished on its highs. But still, you can see that the bears are clearly in control in China. And if you've been watching MarketStream, you would have been well ahead of Moody's and everybody else on this headline. And that's why we bring this information to you, and that's why we use this type of analysis to give us context, so that when we see headlines, we're not emotional, we're looking at it for what it's worth. Taking a look at the Nikkei, we saw that Japan actually finished the session to the upside, up 0.6%. That's good for 129 points to the upside. What's interesting here, though, is that the market continues to grind here in Japan. Now, it has filled this little gap that it had on the pullback and challenge of the 20-day moving average. And for those of you that are new, I only use the 20 and 50-day moving average as context. Who's in control of the market? The bulls, the bears. And if they're in between these two moving averages, in other words, they're trading right here between the 20 and 50-day moving average, that's telling me that there could be a potential shift in control, either to the bears or to the bulls, or whatever the prevailing market trend was, that continuation, if they grab it, getting above or below those moving averages. That's it. There's no secret mechanism to these. It's just looking at what the trade data has been for the last 20 and 50 days and plotting it on a line. Gives me context. And right now, Japan has been moving to the upside, a little bit choppy, very grindy in tight ranges, but last night finished off of its lows but below its open. That's telling me right now that there's not a ton of conviction. Prime Minister Abe is going to be meeting with President Trump at the G7. Should be very interesting how they're going to petition him on the growth factors. And we also saw what's notable, Toshiba. Toshiba was up 8.7% overnight. Looks like Western Digital might be making a play for their chip unit, paying up as high as I want to say this, let me double check this. It looks like about 2 trillion Japanese yen, if that's correct. We'll have to double check that, for their chip unit. So we'll watch that closely. What has been weighing on the market, though, are two things in Japan. Consumer names continue to be challenged, and the Japanese yen. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the Japanese yen, it is now challenging and falling back to the 20-day moving average. The strength in the yen was weighing on the market. It has lightened up, but we'll watch this. We'll see if the Japanese yen is going to hold up. A weaker yen could actually help the Japanese market, so we'll keep an eye on that. Taking a look at Hong Kong, Hong Kong finished up 25 points despite the Moody's downgrade. We did see property names to the upside in Hong Kong. Very interesting action with the downgrade by Moody's. But we've been seeing that trend for the last week to 10 days. So Hong Kong finishing to the upside and well above its 20 and 50-day moving average. So it looks like money is moving from the mainland and parking it into the Hong Kong Hang Seng markets, so that they still will have potential access when and if the Chinese markets start to turn. But they're really focused on staying in the property names in Hong Kong, as well as watch the casino names, the gaming names in Hong Kong. They've been performing well as of late, but we saw Galaxy Sands last night actually perform to the downside. So let's see if this is actually a shift in the gaming. And then finally, take a look at India. India, after Monday hitting basically almost all-time highs or challenging all-time highs, has been pulling back. And so that's pretty notable. It's down 0.2% overnight. That's good for 63 points to the downside. But this has been one of the hottest indices in Asia. It's now challenging its 20-day moving average, folks. That's telling me that the short-term bulls in India could be under some pressure. Watch this area right here. All right, folks, that's it right now for the Overnight Action Report. Join me at 8:45 Eastern Time. I'm going to be talking about everything that's going on in Europe. See you then here at MarketStream.live.